Alright guys, Zach again over at Amato. Just doing a walk around and demonstration of the 21 Rubicon. Inspection for the Bosage family. It's nice and clean. No damage on the wheels. No damage on the roof. Lock rails. Back wheel. Fenders. Scratches or anything. Nice little Jeep. Passenger side door panel. In really good shape. All the leather's in really good shape. You got your Freedom Top panel bag. Formats in. Interior is all nice and clean. Folding the rear seat. Simple as doing that, although the thing is in there, so, and the bag's in there, so it won't fold right now. And you got your sub and everything down here. That's where you put all the screws when removing the doors and the roof. For the rear, the screws are in each side. I believe there's 3 on each side, so 6 total for the back screws, and then 2 up under the T-tops. To take the back roof off, then you just unplug these little connections here for the rear wiper, and it just lifts off. That's your roll bar. Jail sticker showing everything. Proximity key on there too. So a little button right here. That'll lock it, and there's a sensor on the back to unlock it. Just flatten that out. Got 32 miles on the dash. Those are your lights. So auto, that's on at all times. You can see the lights on there. That's just your parking lights. It just turns on the fender lights. That's off. And that one's your fog lights. May not do it because the car is off. Yeah, it's not going to do it with the car off. These are your selectables for the cluster in there. These are Bluetooth controls for picking up the phone, denying the call, or hanging up the phone, and then like voice activated for stuff. This is just cruise control. That turns it on set. Pretty self-explanatory. These are your wiper controls. So just turning up and down turns it on. That's for your rear wiper. And then pulling it back will spray the front windshield, and pushing it back will spray the back window. Let's see. We're going to start it up so we can at least go through a walkthrough of everything. So on the center screen, you can see there's a bunch of different modes. So off-road right now, it just kind of shows what axle's disconnected and everything. That's your fuel economy. Shows your range in the bottom left down here. And then current fuel economy. That's your trip info. Tells you when the stop start is working or on. It just shows your radio station. Messages is for your oil change lights, stuff like that. set up. So if you go into settings here, you can change what appears in all those things. So if you want the time up there, if you want the speed, the gear display, certain menus, kind of do it. So if you want the speedometer up there, save that. Upper left, keep that. Temperature shows up on the radio too, so we'll throw the time up there. You guys can go in and mess with that when you get it by you. That's just the normal speedometer. If you wanted to see it in kilometers per hour, that's how you switch it. Just hit OK. Just keep it in miles per hour. These are your info settings. I'm just going to hop out of the Jeep real quick to open the doors so we don't suffocate anyone. Tire pressures, it's your coolant temp, trans temp, oil pressure, oil life, voltage, back to off-road, and then your radio controls are on the back of the steering wheel. It's kind of hard to see. Right side is your volume controls, left side is for the seek and changing stations and stuff. So the radio, you got AM, FM, XM. You can have your presets up here. It's as simple as touching and holding it, and it'll save it. But it's FM, AM, pretty self-explanatory. It's your sources. You can also drag and drop to, if you use some things more than, so if say you don't use AM, you can drag it up there. Those will keep it over there for now. You guys can play with it how you want it. That way your main ones are shown right away. Tune. So you just go to whatever station you want. Let's go to Alt Nation. Your climate control. For the most part, it's all going to be done through the touch screen. You do have some physical buttons down here, which I'll show you in a bit, but this just changes the direction of the fans. Max AC just turns the blowers on max. AC, if you just need a little bit of AC. It's recirculation. It just goes to auto climate and front and rear defrosters. That shuts it off. That syncs the passenger side with the driver side. If you don't want that on, you can have the passenger side be a different temperature. I'm gonna turn this down. It's pretty hot in here. Alright, then you can either go to controls through climate control, or you can go in the physical, or the button down here. This is the fan speed down there, but we'll go into controls now. That's your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and then mirror dimmer. You don't have bright lights flashing at you. It's your backup camera. We'll obviously turn that on too when you go into reverse. You can also turn the directional lines off of that if you wanted to, so it won't show all that stuff. The center line is if you had a hitch on it and you wanted to line up the hitch. It shows you where it is. Let's see. Apps. Kind of shows everything. So you have your notifications, you have Wi-Fi hotspot, which you set up through, I believe, either AT&T or Verizon. Assist is kind of like, what's it called? OnStar, but Uconnect version, so same situation. Projection manager, you can kind of like screen share, but most people would use the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Off-road pages, special to the Rubicon and now the Saharas. It does take a little bit to load. A little Jeep animation. So that shows your pitch and roll. That's a more in-depth version of this screen. Shows your sway bars connected, your axles, what gear or what drive mode you're in, everything. Accessory gauges, again, just more detailed than this, so you can have it up on the screen at all times. This is pitch and roll for when you're off-roading. It just kind of shows your angles and everything. Also shows your longitude and latitude for your location. Go to nav. So I will go in and set your home address in there. But yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Just navigation. You can change the settings of it. You can turn off sounds and stuff like that if you don't like them blowing you up. This is if you want to pair a phone. It's as simple as going in here. When you click phone, it'll ask you if you want to pair one. Just hit yes, and then follow directions on your Bluetooth. And it takes all of 30 seconds. If you guys have any issues setting it up, just reach out to me and we'll do like a video calls to show you how to do it. These are just all your settings for everything. So this is just one of those things that you just gotta sit there and play with and get everything how you want it. Hill start assist, tire fill assist. Tire fill assist is basically the truck will beep at you when it hits the right tire level pressure. But you can change, let's see, doors and locks. If you don't want it to sound the horn when you remote start the car, or how many clicks you need to unlock it, or just tons of stuff. So again, if you guys have any questions, just reach out. So here's your volume control. That also is the power button. Front and rear defroster is just physical buttons. Heated steering wheel, heated seats. This is going to be temperature control for the driver, temperature control for the passenger. This is airspeed. That shuts the air off. That's auto for the air. This is directional, same as before, but just the physical button. Just gonna shut that off. That's the passenger heated seat, AC, and recirculation. That shuts the screen off. If you're on a long drive, you don't want it to annoy you, or you don't like bright lights in your face. It'll take a second, it won't shut off fully, but you just touch the screen again and it'll come back up. These are your hazards. That's hill descent control, basically cruise control for off-roading, which is what they tell us to say. This is your traction control. That is your auto stop start. That's to mute everything. If you're on a call or something, you don't want anything blowing you up. That's your 12 volt, one of them at least. Power windows. So it's one touch down, and then hold to go back up. And it's one touch down for both, but you gotta hold it to go up for both. Which kind of sucks, but it's Jeep's choice. So you got your aux, USB-C, and normal USB plugins. And your aux switches down here. You hook up any auxiliary lights and stuff. These are your front and rear lockers, along with the rear only locker. Off-road plus mode, and sway bar disconnect button. That's the shifter for going into 4x4. So I'll just demonstrate that. I recommend keeping it in neutral to go into 4x4, or 4 high at the very least. But it's just really firm. First few times you do it, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but they don't make it easy, but you just got to slam it down. It goes into gear just fine. To go into 4 low, go into neutral and roll about 5 miles an hour, maybe 10 miles an hour, and then put it into gear. I don't want to do it in here because we're indoors, but yeah, that's the shifter. Got my foot on the brake, so we weren't going anywhere, but that's your select drive control. See it up on the dash right here. It shows what gear you're in. Won't let me go gear because we're not moving, but yeah. everything else is pretty self-explanatory. They say this is a phone holder in the middle, but it does fit the key quite perfectly. These gigantic keys. But yeah, you got your garage door opener right here. To set it, I'm just going to reset it in case there were any settings saved on it, but you would just hit the 2 outside buttons here and hold it. You'll see this little light turn on. Once that starts flashing, it's reset. It takes a few seconds. There you go, so it's flashing now. That's reset. And then when you go to set it, just hold your garage door opener up to whatever button you're using. Press and hold both of them at the same time for about 30 seconds. And we'll do the same thing, just solid light to blinking light. When it's blinking light, it'll set the garage door for you. This just tells you if the passenger airbag light is on. That's your assistant SOS. SOS is if you're in an accident or something like that. Assist is if you just need assistance with the guidance system and stuff like that. Other than that, everything's pretty self-explanatory. You got your storage bins down here. Another USB down there. Tons of storage in these. Glove box. Toolkit to take everything apart. You guys want me to demonstrate how to take off the tops? It's pretty simple. So for the T-tops, so you just undo all the latches here, and then you just lift up. And like I was saying before about the back of it, you got the little toolkit there to undo all the bolts. Everything you need to undo everything is in here, and you just lift up. There's 2 bolts up above here, but if you guys wanted me to show you that, I can get around to doing that at some point. We've got tons of Wranglers, so okay. Not sure if you guys have owned a Wrangler in the past, but in terms of opening the hood, just undo these 2 latches, and then there's a little lever in here that lifts up. And I believe that's it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to me. Again, my name is Zach over at Amato Chrysler. Have a good day, guys.